Hey, it's your guy Tyrrell back with the interviews. Juventus increased their lead at Serie A to 11 points, this time coming from behind to beat Lazio. How do they do it? What took them so long? Don't worry, here with the interviews, we've got you covered. So on this edition of the interviews, we're going to break down how Juventus beat Lazio. So before we get into today's video, don't forget to give our video a thumbs up if you do enjoy it. The bell below does give you daily notifications regarding our organic, unfiltered soccer/footy analysis. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. In today's video, we're going to break down the first half, see what Lazio did right and why Juventus struggled, then move to the second half, see how Lazio were able to go ahead, and then what tactical change Juventus made to ensure that they came from behind to claim all 3 points. But first, let's get to the starting lineups. We look at Juve, more of a 4-3-3, Dybala, Ronaldo, Douglas Costa up front, and midfield they went with Tweedy, Emre Can, and Bentancur. Then we go to Lazio, 3-5-2, Carrera and Immobile up front. Out in the wing-back roles, they went with Lulic and Parolo, and in midfield, Luis Alberto. They went with Lucas and Milinkovic-Savic. So now let's get to the first half, see what Lazio did right, and why Juve struggled in the first half. So when we look at the first half, we have to look at Lazio's shape, 3-5-2. Without the ball, it was very simple for them. They had Carrera and Immobile sitting in between Can. One of them would always step to him to ensure he didn't have the ball. They would push the wingbacks out to the fullbacks to ensure that they stepped on them. And then in midfield, they had the battle pretty much set up. They had Savic on Matuidi. They were able to push Luis Alberto towards Bentancur. And they had Lucas kind of operating in between the lines to ensure that no play was really played into Dybala or any of the Juventus attackers. That is where Lazio were able to really execute. Lucas was superb in the first half, breaking up play with De Sciglio pushing forward, bullying Dybala, ensuring that he couldn't get on the ball. He broke up play with Bentancur, Matuidi, Douglas Costa, you name it. He was breaking into channels, and they were very physical. Bastos was very physical on Ronaldo. And the only place that they really found, Juventus really found outlets was more so in transition or when Douglas Costa or Ronaldo moved into space in behind the wing backs. But however, when they did get into those areas, they often lacked the creativity or that final pass to really create chances. So this is where they were really finding their joy. They matched up well in midfield. When they pressed, they closed them down very well. And even if you had Ronaldo or Douglas Costa moving into the wider areas, they would have the wingbacks push forward, and that is when, or they'd have the wingbacks drop back, and that is when they'd have the shuttler shift over and then deal with the midfield battle there. If it went the other way to Douglas Costa, you would have Lulic drop off, you'd have Alberto move out to De Sciglio, and then have the midfield switch over in that position. But besides that, they were really comfortable, and when they did press from the front, they forced Juventus into some errors, because when they did press from the front, they would have Alberto and Immobile. They'd have Immobile and Carrera push out to the center backs. They'd have Can drop off. They'd have Alberto step to him. The first time what had happened was they had Bentancur drop off and he got the ball. And when he was looking to play it to Lulic, when he was looking to play it to De Sciglio, they had Lulic step out and win the ball. And then that led to a break going forward. The other opportunity, did see them roll the ball out to Emre Can, and Alberto stepped to him, and Can tried to evade him, and Alberto was able to get onto the ball and dispossess him, and that also led to another opportunity. So when we look at how everything is broken down, Lazio from a defensive aspect weren't really forced to any issues based off the fact that they pressed man v man in midfield, and even when Juve tried to build out the back from that position or build out the back normally, we have one more incident where we have Sandro getting onto the ball. We have Parolo stepping to him. And look at this when you see it. Matuidi closed down by Savic. You have Alberto stepping to Bentancur. No pass able to play to Can. So when he plays the ball into Dybala dropping deep, it's so simple for Lucas to step to him, win the ball, move forward. Simple like that. Also another opportunity where Savic and Correa were split by Rugani, plays it into Matuidi. Matuidi tries to turn quickly, and when he tries to turn, it's Lucas who steps in. Lucas was the key player. Lazio's shape was superb. They were able to break forward, but they struggled to get in behind Juventus. So now let's look to some of Lazio's chances, see how they were able to force Szczesny into some saves and why they struggled to get in behind the Juve backline. So when we look to Lazio's chances, a lot of it stemmed from direct direct play in transition, but there were a few times where they tried to get in behind, but it just didn't work out. The first one stemmed from a Luis Alberto long ball diagonal into Parolo, breaking in behind Alexandro, who was narrow. He was able to get onto the ball in that half space, but when he tried to guide it across goal, it fell right into the keeper, Szczesny. So that was one opportunity that they did have. The second opportunity saw Dybala pick up the loose ball from deep. He ran by Immobile, ran by Alberto, he ran by Lulic before Lucas stepped in. With Lucas stepping in, you have Alberto picking up the loose ball. He plays it beyond Douglas Costa for Lucas, and Lucas is able to get the ball, and he's able, with Chan stepping to him, he guides it to Immobile, but Immobile's poor first touch falls right into Carrera, and he fires a low effort on goal. That's a golden opportunity for Lazio, but again, we see the issues that they do have, preferring to shoot rather than break down the Juventus backline. Another opportunity is Chan in his half play, a loose pass into Carrera, and Carrera ends up laying it off to Luis Alberto, who drives forward past Bentancur and at the Juventus backline, and he also prefers to fire a shot on goal that is eventually pushed away. We eventually see Chiellini come on for Bonucci. That changed everything, and when he came on, it's not that it changed everything from a tactical aspect, but Lazio continued to attack. We see a cross coming across. We see a ball played in across the Juventus 18-yard line, and what ends up happening is that Matuidi does a poor job with a missed kick, and it falls to Savic, and Savic now is able to turn at him, and what happens there is that he's not closed down. He's able to play a pass into Parolo between Chan and in between Matuidi. Parolo's goal side of Alexandro is able to cut in and fire a shot on goal that Szczesny pushes away, and Carrera is unable to finish the job off from point blank range. The final opportunity that Lazio get in that first half that really caused Juventus some problems was a long ball from Wallace. The Lazio back three often had lots of time to get on the ball, but Lazio's build-up play was very slow, methodical. They weren't really shifting Juventus out of position. Here we saw Wallace often opt to go long, and when he plays his long ball, Immobile kind of crowds into Rugani. Rugani knocks the ball into the box, and Immobile continues his run. Szczesny comes out. He clips it over Szczesny, but Rugani is able to come across and recover and clear his line. So when you think about Lazio's chances, a lot of it came from transition. A lot of it was like direct play, but they opted to go for long shots. They weren't getting in behind the Juventus backline, and when they did, they lacked the final ball. So with that being said, they went into halftime 0-0. So now let's get to the second half, see how Lazio went ahead and what tactical changes Juventus made to ensure that they claimed all 3 points. Neither side made any significant tactical changes heading into the second half, and we kind of saw the same thing from Lazio in terms of getting great combinations ahead of the Juventus backline. We saw in the earlier stages, it was Luis Alberto was able to drop off a bit deeper, play the ball into Lucas, and Lucas found Carrera dropping off ahead of Rugani. When he dropped off ahead of Rugani, he played it back to Alberto, who split in between Bentancur and Chan to get onto the ball, and when he drove forward towards goal, he played it into Immobile, but Immobile was crowded out by the center backs, and it fell back to Alberto, who fired a shot inches wide of the net. Shortly after that, Lazio went ahead via a corner kick where Emre Can nodded into his own goal, and that saw Juventus make a tactical change. They brought off Matuidi, they moved to Bernardeschi. Now they moved to a 4-2-3-1 with Chan and Bentancur protecting the center of the pitch, and now they had 4 attackers going forward. But even then, Lazio were still getting opportunities ahead of the Juventus back four, and they probably should have doubled their lead here, where Lucas again was able to split that midfield and play the ball into Immobile dropping off, and he laid it off to Carrera. And now with Carrera pushing forward, he slid the ball in between Descilio and Rugani so that Immobile could get it free on goal, but he curled his effort inches over the net. At the same time, you continue to see Lazio gain chances. You had Luis Alberto pick up the ball from deep and run at Bentancur before firing a shot inches over the net. We saw Milinkovic-Savic able to get the ball in an advanced position, get away from Bentancur and Dybala, and curl his effort wide of the net. So they were getting into good opportunities. Without the ball, you had still Dybala in a number 10 role being pressed and swarmed by Lucas, and Lazio eventually at times dropped off into more of a 5-4-1 where they had, again, Correa kind of dropping off a bit deeper into the central roles so they could have Alberto and they could have Alberto and Savic move out into the wider areas to press. But Juve weren't really creating any chances, and that was a big issue for them. They eventually turned to Joao Cancelo, which eventually moved Bernardeschi to the left side, because prior to that it was Douglas Costa who was breaking forward but not really offering the final ball from that left-sided position. And shortly after that we saw Juve equalize, and it didn't stem from the tactical change, but it did see why Bernardeschi moving and Cancelo moving out to those wider areas helped them out, because it stems from an Alexandro pass that is played in behind Parolo, and what we end up seeing here is Bernardeschi getting onto it, running past Bastos, playing the ball, pulling it back for Dybala at the edge of the box. He fires a shot on goal that is saved, but it's Cancelo breaking into the box free, and he places the rebound just past the keeper, and that made it 1-1. After that, we kind of did see Juve find a bit of a groove. We saw Dybala dropping off into pockets of spaces to get the ball and link play, not really causing Lazio's backline any problems, but he was more involved. We saw Bentancur from deep clip a long ball diagonal out into the right half space for Cancelo, getting him behind Lulic, but Wallace came across to make a vital intervention, so that was key for them. Besides that, when you think about chances that Lazio created, there was only one more that really came to mind, and it was again Immobile dropping off into space in between Bernardeschi and Emre Can. He was able to get onto the ball, combine with his teammates in Correa, lay it off to Alberto, and he was fired a shot. He laid off to Alberto, found Correa, and he fired a shot right at the keeper. So when we think about that and we see how Juve were kind of gradually growing into the game but not really causing Strakosha any issues, the build up to the winner kind of made sense. And it's again Chiellini clipping a long ball into Ronaldo, who dropped off a bit deeper, and he was ahead of Bastos, and he dropped it off to Dybala. He got it back, Ronaldo, and he played a superb reverse ball between Parolo and Bastos for Bernardeschi. And again, you have Cancelo breaking into the box before he's pulled down by Lulic when the ball was played in, and the referee awarded a penalty that saw Ronaldo convert with minutes to play in the second half. So when you break things down, Lazio started well. Lucas was key to that. They were pressing well. They had opportunities in transition on several occasions, both in the first and the second half. They didn't take their chances. And although Allegri's tactical changes didn't really significantly shift the game, the two players that he brought on in Bernardeschi and in Cancelo were involved in both goals, and they made the difference here. And Juve now move 11 points clear of Napoli and still remain undefeated in Serie A. But let me know what you guys think. Will Lazio finish in the top 4 this year? And what about Juve? Who is going to beat them? Can anyone beat them? Will they finish the season unbeaten? Meet me in the comments below. Don't forget I upload videos every day, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And that was your daily dose of the interviews.